We're flying by, folks. It's week 5 of the NFL season. It's unbelievable. I feel like it just started yesterday. I was actually thinking about that weekend of week 1 today, and it's already about to be week 5. Just crazy.
Yeah,
Um, we are your hosts, Congested Adam.
not congested, Dante.
And congested.
No.
Point of view,
Yeah.
whiteout destroyed the both of us, but
Well,
we're recovering.
Mm.
you guys lost your voice. I voluntarily lost my mustache, so we're all cooked.
Would you have a bet on the game for the mustache?
No, I just like got bored, so I was like, let's just shave it off and grow it back.
Yeah.
Dumb idea, because now I look like a baby. But anyway,
Well, no, sorry.
okay.
It'll grow back. We got a lot to talk about today, including a recap of the Peter Zach Bowl, which Luke will have a lot more to talk about than me, but we'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there. Um, but anyway, let's get into it. Starting out with the fantasy leaders. This is a Luke Peter Zach supported slide. Big
Yeah.
Puka Nakua fan, Luke Peter Zach.
Who isn't? I love Puka, man.
I know
So
he's
easy
awesome.
to cheer for.
But anyways, we got our week 4 fantasy football leaders. Let's start things out with the quarterback position. Our top QB this week was Dak Prescott with 30.96 points against Green Bay. Matthew Stafford was the second-ranked quarterback, 27.4 against the Colts. And Patrick Mahomes finally balling out once again with 27.3 against the Ravens. Then you had Ashton Genty with 33.5 against the Bears. Finally, just good to see him ball out. He's kind of had a slow start. Then you had Josh Jacobs, 31.7 against the Cowboys. And then I was telling Dante before the episode you'd hear his name, Mr. Kenneth Gainwell, 31.4 against the Vikings in Ireland.
Oh, it was so nice to see.
He's been
Oh,
underrated.
oh, dude. I mean, Jalen Warren gets announced as inactive an hour before the game. I'm like, all right, we're probably gonna lose. We're not gonna run the ball well. I mean, Kenny Gainwell, dude, I saw a meme. It was like our Irish people probably think Kenny Gainwell was like the modern Barry Sanders. He was awesome. He had two touchdowns, 99 on the ground, like 35 through the air. He was a beast. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was good to see. Then you had our wide receiver leader and number one of the week, Puka Nakua, with 36 points against the Indianapolis Colts. Then behind him, you had Steeler legend George Pickens with 33.4 against the Packers. And then you had Romeo Dobbs with 29.8 against the Cowboys. You notice a trend here. A lot of players in that Sunday night game are featured here, yet the game ended in a tie.
Yep.
I hate that so much. The NFL needs to figure that out. Anyways, tight ends, 19.7 for Dallas Goedert against the Bucks. He's this week's number one. Then Luke Peterzak, Tyler Warren had 18.3 against the Rams.
That's
This is
right.
his second appearance on the fantasy list of the year. And then our final tight end, never thought I would say this guy's name this year, Kyle Pitts. Going by Kyle Pitts Sr. now, but I'm still calling him Kyle Pitts anyways. Had 18 against the Commanders.
wow.
Interesting.
Very surprising.
Cool.
But that's your fantasy recap of the week. And now we get into our predictions for week 5, starting with Thursday Night Football. We have a divisional battle for the second consecutive week, an NFC West battle. Last week featured the Seahawks and the Cardinals. This week features the 49ers and the Rams. Guys, what do we think?
Yeah.
Luke, you
I'm
go.
going to go get some tissues while someone picks. There we
Um, I am going to go with the Rams. Um, I've been a big Rams supporter this year. We just talked about Puka Nacua. Um, you know, I was the one who picked them against the Eagles. They almost won that game. They've looked good. I think the 49ers are fine. I have a bit of short-term memory loss. I forget what they did last week already.
Mhm.
Um,
They lost to Jacksonville.
Lost to Jacksonville. Look at that. And yeah, so give me the Rams this week. I have a good feeling about that, especially the Rams knocking off knocking off Indianapolis. That was a close one against what looks like to have been a real Indianapolis team, not a fluke. So I have confidence in them. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Rams. A lot of question marks, a lot of injuries still going on with San Francisco.
Yeah,
Ricky Pearsall and CMC really seem to be the only bright spots on that Niner offense, and the Niner defense isn't looking like the dominant unit we've seen. But the Rams are good all around the board. Matthew Stafford is playing very good football. Puka seems like the best receiver in the league right now. And the
definitely.
defense, Jared Verse, um, Fisk, all those guys are balling. I like the Rams a lot in this one, especially at home.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. And to anyone that saw me blow my nose on camera without it while it was muted, I apologize. Next time I will turn my camera off.
Oh, you're
But
good.
anyway,
Dude.
yeah, I'm going to triple down here and go with the Rams. I saw today that Brock Purdy will not be playing in this game.
Oh, wow.
Even if he was, I would still pick the Rams anyway. Like Luke mentioned, they nearly beat the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles and looked good or last week against the Colts, even though that was a close game. Stafford's in rhythm, Puka's in rhythm. You've got a banged up Niners team. Again, no Brock Purdy. Not that I think Mac Jones will do a bad job, but no Brock Purdy definitely stings. And a short week for them coming off a loss. That is all the recipe for me to pick the Rams. So I will go LA as well.
Cool.
All right.
And we got our first London game of the year. Second straight week of what my good buddy Wyatt's World calls a tea and crumpets football game. It's very early in the morning on the East Coast. 9:30 a.m. kickoff it will be for this one when it's meanwhile like 2 p.m. in London. But we have the Vikings for the second straight week playing an international game. They went from Ireland to London and will be playing the Cleveland Browns. Last week, the Vikings lost to the Steelers. Dante, I'll actually let you get into that if you want a little bit because this is a Steelers bye week, so you won't have the chance for them to pop up on the screen and talk about them. So, if you want to talk about that game real quick, I'll let you go ahead and then make the first pick for this one.
Sure. Appreciate that. Um, yeah. Going into this game, I know both of you guys picked the Vikings and I picked the Steelers, though I wasn't extremely confident. I kind of just picked the Steelers because they're my team. If I'm going to be totally honest, that's what happened. But
Worked
uh,
out for you.
yeah, it did work out great. I know the score was closer than the box score is closer than the game actually seemed. I feel like the Steelers completely dominated this game until about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We ran the ball great. I thought Rodgers played well. I thought Rodgers played super efficient. DK had his first 100-yard game as a Pittsburgh Steeler, 126 and a touchdown. Took an 80-yard reception to the house. That was so cool to see. Uh, this offense really played to its full potential, I think, this week. I love the play calling. It was absolutely awesome. And not to mention the defense, 7 sacks. I was gonna say 6 or 7 sacks, but I knew something was gonna happen. Um, there it is. Um, picked uh picked Carson Wentz off twice. Deshaun Elliott first game back had a pick. Um, and Jalen Ramsey should have had a fumble return touchdown, but that rule is kind of BS. If I'm gonna be real. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. But yeah, I was delighted. Steelers, made my Sunday before even the 1 o'clock game started. Um, yeah, not much to say here. Steelers are 3-1, and at this point, the AFC North looks favorable for the Steelers. At this point, I still think the Ravens are obviously going to pick it up,
Hmm.
but with Lamar Jackson being out a couple games, 2 or 3 games, Steelers have a chance to separate themselves and create a sizable gap between themselves and the Ravens because at this point, I don't think the Browns and the Bengals are any competition at this point. Um, but yeah, great win for the Steelers. Vikings, tough outing. Um, but I'm sure you'll be back. And getting into this game, Minnesota going over a country or two to England to play the Cleveland Browns, and I saw a lot of people taking the Browns in this one, but I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go with the Vikings, and I know you could critique the Vikings defense a little bit for giving up some major yards to the Steelers, but you guys may disagree with me, but I think the Steelers offense is not considerably better, but better than the Browns. So I think the Vikings might have a better outing here defensively. Um, I think Carson Wentz may struggle a little bit, especially against that really good Browns defense, one of the best in the league. But I think in Dylan Gabriel's first start, he is going to struggle a little bit. So I think Minnesota being acclimated in Europe, I think they're going to get the job done. So I'm going with the Vikings.
Okay. Luke?
Yeah, I think Dante, you might even be giving the Browns too much credit here.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised to see you say that you've been seeing people pick the Browns.
Mhm.
Um, I guess I'm just not that much online recently, but I haven't seen that. I have faith in the Vikings here. Carson Wentz, McCarthy, it doesn't really matter. They put up a good fight against the Steelers. I know you said the game wasn't as close as the final score might suggest, and I agree with you there. But they made a run for it at the end, sort of,
No doubt.
and that they have it in them, obviously, to deter kind of runs that the this makeshift Cleveland Browns offense can go on. I don't think they'll have any problem here, other than the fact that it's a bit wonky, a London game. Carson Wentz versus Dylan Gabriel, so anything could happen, I guess, but I'm pretty confident in picking the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in the Vikings as well. Like you said, Dylan Gabriel will be making his NFL debut in this one. The Browns announced today that they are officially benching Joe Flacco and making Dylan Gabriel the QB1. Flacco will still remain the backup, which I guess means Shedeur Sanders is QB3.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really matter to me. I was always going Vikings in this one. I believe they're a much more well-rounded team. I think Carson Wentz could have a nice bounce back here, assuming he is still playing and they're not playing JJ McCarthy again. But
Either way, I
I-
think it's I
yeah.
think it's a
Either
good.
way, I think the Browns defense could make this interesting just because the Browns do have a solid defense. But all in all, I think the Vikings will do enough to win. They'll take this one.
Cool.
And now, starting with the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, we have the Dallas Cowboys facing the New York Jets. Last year, if this was like week two, this would be a Sunday night game undisputed because it'd be like Aaron Rodgers against the Cowboys. But this year, it's maybe one of the easier picks of the week, considering that the Jets are bad
Yeah,
and the
and
Cowboys.
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm giving you all the credit in the world. I gave the Jets too much optimism. I'm never gonna doubt your opinion on the Jets, as they will probably always be bad. So anyway,
Yeah, to be fair, we both picked them last week
yeah, we did.
against the Dolphins, but yeah.
Prayers up to Tyreek Hill also. Oh my God,
Yeah, seriously,
Lord, that was
that was
anyway.
awful.
Oh, yeah, that was ugly.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Jets, yeah.
Yeah,
I can even start to see this pretty easy Cowboys here. I mean, Dak Prescott looked fantastic last week, in what was probably the game of the year, early candidate. Um, that game was everything that the Dolphins Jets game was not.
yeah,
So I have no worries or concerns here picking the Cowboys.
yeah. That game on Sunday night was fantastic between the Cowboys and the Packers. It's a real shame that it ended in a tie, and it just felt like such a weird ending because McManus hit the field goal to tie it at the end, and then all the guys walked off the field like, all right, like I guess that's it. And I feel like Dak just looked defeated because he's like, man, I did all that, and they couldn't even win me the game. But they should have no problem winning this one. I feel like Dak's in a groove right now. With no CD Lamb, he got George Pickens involved last week, so I'm expecting another big game out of Pickens this week. But yeah, nothing else really needs to go into this one. I think the Cowboys get an easy win on the road.
yeah. I'll agree with you guys. I like Dallas in this game, and I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Dak Prescott may be one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Um,
Agreed.
Guy doesn't get enough credit. He's consistently pretty good, just can't get it done in the playoffs. But he's constantly putting up numbers and making his team successful.
Yeah.
I think Dallas, if only they had a star on the defensive side of the ball, they'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think the defense will play well in this game. I think Kenny Clark will be good on that defensive line, and and Dallas is going to ball offensively. Shout out GP. I miss you. Really wish you were a Steeler. But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, he looked great this week.
He did. He really did.
Oh,
All right, now we got the Giants and the Saints. The Giants coming off their first win of the year, a real stunner. They beat the Chargers last week. Jackson Dart looked pretty good in his NFL debut. But then you had Malik Neighbors go down for the season with a torn ACL, something you absolutely hate to see, especially from one of the better young talents in the game. But
Hmm.
now they head to New Orleans to take on the Saints, which, in my opinion, absolutely the worst team in the NFL. They have looked abysmal this year. When are they going to give Tyler Shuck a chance and let Spencer Rattler give him some starts? I don't know, but they can keep riding it out with Rattler as long as possible because it's making me happy. And it makes me not even hesitate here to pick the New York Giants to win their second in a row and improve to 2-3, which is something I was not expecting to say early on in the season, but here we are. I mean, Dart looked great last week, and their defense will keep him in the game. It's just going to be about who gets the receptions now. But I mean, you still have Wan'Dale Robinson, so I expect him to be used a lot in this game. And Cam Scatterbo has been balling out as well.
Yeah.
So
He has very quickly become one of my favorite players in the NFL.
I'll go next if you don't mind, Luke.
Cam's got to be.
Um,
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go with the Giants. However, I think it's going to be rather close. The Saints really gave the Bills a pretty decent game last week. Like it was surprising. Like I think at halftime, I don't know what the score was, but I know it was fairly close. The Saints played pretty well in Buffalo, which I was surprised about. Gave the Bills one of their better games to start the year. But I loved everything I saw out of Jackson Dart. Had a rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. He looked poised. He looked relaxed. Um, I think the Giants, if they keep developing him, he could be the guy potentially in the future. Um, yeah, I like the Giants in this one. I think their defense, if the Giants play complementary football, that's only going to make their defense that much better. Because if they have an offense that could go and put up points and take a little pressure off them, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, they're all gonna eat on that offensive line. On that defensive line. Sorry. Yeah, so I like the Giants.
Yeah, you guys pretty much covered it. Jackson Dart looking better than a lot expected in his first game, knocking off the Chargers. Saints looking better than expected, giving the Bills a run for their money. But they're going to lose to another blue and red New York team, and my 1-16 Giants prediction is going to go in the toilet in week 5. But that's fine because I like Jackson Dart, I like Brian Dable, and I like Cam Scatterbo. And I like Malik Neighbors, so the idea of them winning some games for him here is cool. So give me the Giants.
Most influential fat man in New York since Biggie.
Make the rules.
all right, now we have the Raiders at the
Hmm.
Colts. Um, Colts coming off their first loss of the year. Daniel Jones, I think, looked fine in that game from what I've heard. I didn't really pay that much attention to it. But what I do know about the Raiders is Geno Smith has not looked that impressive since starting with the Raiders. And that leads me to believe that the Colts will get back on track here. I'm going to take Indy to win this game and improve to 4-1 on the year, which could have been 5-0. Last week they were very close to winning, but some costly penalties from AD Mitchell kept them from winning that game. So yeah, Colts could have been 5-0 with a win here, but they'll be 4-1. Not that bad. And yeah, give me Indy.
Yeah, I'll also go with Indy here. I was so close to making the right pick last week if AD Mitchell didn't mess up. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like AD Mitchell's like never on the field for the Colts, but the one time he is, he screws the game for him.
Yeah.
Um, I believe in Daniel Jones. I believe in this Colts team. Jonathan Taylor has looked magnificent. Leads the league in rushing, which is so good. Um, yeah, I like Indy.
Yep, so do I. Really got to see something better out of Geno Smith this week. 3 picks last week. Obviously, that holds back what was a great game from Ashton Genty. He broke out. He went back to his Michael Myers standing straight up in the backfield. Um, Raiders have some players on offense for sure. They need to start putting it together more efficiently, more consistently, um, like the Colts have been doing. They have been. Sorry, the Red Sox just lost. Um,
No, really?
it's all right. The Colts have been putting it together consistently, which is why they almost beat the Rams last week, and which is why they're going to be 4-1.
Luke, you can leave it on that channel. Reds and Dodgers is going to be next.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's a
Game
shame.
3 we go. It's okay.
It's
Game
okay. They'll
3.
they'll win tomorrow. I have faith.
I'll change my background to Drake Bay.
So yeah, we're all going Colts. Dante, you can go to the next game. All right. With the Panthers hosting the Miami Dolphins back home at Bank of America Stadium. Last week could not have gone worse for us. Bless you, Luke. beat the Falcons 30-0 in week 3 at home. And I thought, man, these next few games, you never know, they're all winnable. We could really make it difficult, but no, 42-13 you lose. And Luke, I'm not hating on the Patriots at all. I hope you know that. Drake May's great, but
Drake May balled out. I'm sorry.
this this Carolina defense reeks. Would you believe me if I told you Bryce Young had more passing yards and more passing touchdowns this week against New England than he did in the Atlanta game? Because he did have more.
Yeah.
That tells you how bad this defense is. It's awful. It's an awful unit. And I get it. Most of them are young, where they're just starting to find their footing in the league, but come on. Like we were up 6-0 in this game. 42 unanswered points. All right, that's all I'll say. Now we're playing Miami, and I gotta admit I am worried because the Dolphins just had a nice win on Monday night. They're gonna be without Tyreek Hill, and yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go Miami. I was back and forth on this before we started the episode, but if we couldn't stop anything last week, it doesn't lead me to believe that we're going to be able to stop Miami. And they have some fast players on offense. And Miami usually handles us pretty well. So I think we'll keep it closer this time, but I will take the Dolphins.
Luke.
Yeah, I have to go with the Dolphins as well. This game could go either way. I could see it going either way. It depends on that defensive unit. I think Bryce Young, the Carolina Reaper, this could be the kind of win that gets Mike McDaniel fired. Because they only have so much confidence after last week, and after losing Tyreek Hill, they can't really have much expectations for this year.
Yeah.
Um, it'll depend on the defenses. Like Adam was saying, the Cleveland defense, or not the Cleveland, the Carolina defense had itself a hard time last week. Thanks to the guy behind me, thanks to Drake May. Um, now he's facing another. Now they're facing another AFC East unit with some remainingly undeniably. They have some fast players still. This isn't. You can't roll into Miami week and not pregame, not prep, not be prepared for some of that speed. And so I think they'll be able to do enough to leave Carolina with a win.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami as well. I think with Tyreek out, I think Miami's gonna try to establish the run more, and I think Devon Achane is gonna have a fairly good game. And I also believe in Jalen Waddle being the wide receiver one. We haven't seen him get significant targets recently, um, but I think he'll be able to do enough, and I think Miami's gonna leave Charlotte with a W. Sorry, Adam.
No, it's fine. That's totally fine. I don't blame you
If
guys for picking
if you
Miami.
remember my Garrett Wilson take, I feel much. I don't like Jalen Waddle at all. So
Garrett Wilson is so much better than Jalen Waddle.
yeah, no, that's very
Oh
obvious.
yeah,
But I'm saying is the kind of blasphemy I spewed about Garrett Wilson. I could
The
pretty
the
easily
20 receiver thing over Jalen Waddle is that I could probably get behind that. Yeah.
I could probably go for 32 for Jalen Waddle.
No, no, that's crazy.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Um, Second to last 1 o'clock game here. We have the Broncos heading up to Philly to face the Eagles. Luke tried to pick against the Eagles 2 weeks ago. Dante and I tried last week, and it just didn't work. The Eagles, to me, are just the best team in the NFL. Even if their offense is a little sloppier than normal, they do just enough to win every week. And last week they did a fake tush push. If people don't like the normal tush push, the fake one ought to raise some eyebrows as well. That really caught my eye. So, yeah, Denver to me has been playing some 50-50 ball lately, even though they just won by a lot on Monday Night Football. They were playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who, like Luke said, are dead, and we will get into that more later. But there's no reason for me to pick against Philly this game. I could see Denver making it interesting, but I'm going to say the Eagles win and advance to 5-0.
Luke.
Yeah, I agree with the Eagles here. It's just a week to week case of what you get out of the Broncos, of what you get out of Bo Nix. But the Eagles, every single week, they've been doing enough to win. It hasn't always been pretty. It even reminds me of the Chiefs from a year ago, but they've been doing enough to win. That's going to continue to be the case. So give me Philly.
We've been agreeing too much. Upset of the week. Give me the Denver Broncos. to win this game. Yeah.
Really? Go for it.
The Eagles have the third worst offense in the NFL statistically right now. They have not looked good. They've been barely squeaking out these games. Should have lost to the Rams. That's just a fact. They really should have lost to that Rams team.
Mhm.
I'm not impressed by the Eagles at all. They are not that same team. The Broncos defense, I think, is probably their biggest test yet. I don't know. That could be debatable, but I think so. I like Denver in this one. I think they go into the link and win, and it's going to shock a lot of Eagles fans. But give me Denver. Got to be bold. Got to be bold.
Gotta be bold. Fortune favors the bold.
That's right.
Hmm.
All right. And last 1 o'clock game of the week, we have the
Now, how
Texans
bold
and the
will you
Ravens.
be?
What, Luke?
How bold will you be here?
Bold enough to say I'm picking Houston because Lamar Jackson is out. Yeah, he was confirmed out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So Lamar Jackson will not be playing in this game. Cooper Rush will be the QB1.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Stroud hasn't looked amazing this year. He had a much better week last week, but this game I feel like the Texans can finally get because the Ravens defense has been abysmal, and like I just said, they'll be without Lamar. So I feel like not going great for them right now. So give me Houston. But I could see this being like a real snooze fest, like a 21 to or like a 17-14 win, something like that. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
my take, but I'll take Houston.
I'll go next, Luke, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Before I make my pick, I'm just going to read something for you. Ravens Week 5 injury report. Wednesday practice. Joby Awuzie did not practice. Kyle Hamilton limited. Marlon Humphrey did not practice. Lamar Jackson did not practice. Patrick Ricard did not practice. Roquan Smith did not practice. Ronnie Stanley did not practice. Devontae Walker did not practice. Nate Wiggins did not practice. I'm going with the Houston Texans. It looks really bleak health-wise for Baltimore right now. Um, even if Lamar played, I still think that amount of injuries is tough for them. But if Lamar doesn't play and Cooper Rush is their starting quarterback against a really good Houston defense, I like Houston a lot. I'll take them. You're muted, Luke.
Look at that, a rare mistake on this show. Yeah, those reasons are piling up. I'm not gonna lie. I was in between on this one, but I also have not been in the news like you guys have. Those injuries, yeah, that's tough. Um, Confidence building win in Tennessee last week or against Tennessee. I will go with the Texans as well.
Nice.
All right.
The 1-4 Baltimore Ravens will happen.
Yeah, I would have
Which
thought.
crazy.
Yeah. All right, on to the 4 o'clock slate. We have the Cardinals hosting the Tennessee Titans. As Cam Ward said, and I normally don't swear on the show, but it's a literal quote, so I can swear. As Cam Ward said about the Titans, we're ass.
Yes,
And
he
he
even
said
said
that
more than that.
in a media show, like after the game, media press conference.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. We asked. That's so funny.
Yeah. The 0-4 Tennessee
Yeah.
Titans will be 0-5. Arizona last week almost beat the Cardinal, or they didn't almost beat themselves, Adam. What are you talking about?
It
They
did beat
almost beat the Seahawks. Actually, they did beat themselves in the end of the game because of how they lost. But um, I will make it a. What am I even saying? Sorry about that, guys. I got the Cardinals in this one. I'm just gonna leave it at that and be
them.
done.
Uh, yeah, I agree with Adam. Cardinals. Brian Callahan, your days are numbered.
Yeah.
Yep, Cardinals on 3.
Uh,
Pretty easy.
that's not my lock of the week though. You'll see what it is very soon. Now we got what I think is the game of the week this week.
Yeah, this is
Three
really
and
good.
one Bucks, 3-1 Seahawks at Lumen Field. Baker Mayfield playing some good football. Sam Darnold playing some good football. Bucky Irving, Emeka Buka, Chris Godwin's back. I think Mike Evans is still hurt, but um, JSN. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. I will definitely be tuned in for this one if I can be. Um, and I'm kind of torn. I'll let you guys go first. I think I know where I'm going, but I want to see one of you guys go first.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I have a team circled on here, but I think I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks a lot. I think Baker Mayfield questionable currently. I think Bucky Irving also dealing with some injuries, dealing with a injury. And Seattle's just playing great football right now. They're playing great on defense. They're on a 3-game win streak. Um, at home, I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks, which at first glance, I was like, oh, no brainer. I'm taking Tampa Bay. But I'm going to take Seattle.
Okay. Um, Luke, do you want to go next? If you
Yeah, I'm also taking Seattle. I kind of expected to be the only one, but I like them here. Seahawks are one of those teams with a real home field advantage. Both teams have been playing some good ball. Um, the Bucks, though, they blew that game against the Eagles. They had to come back for one or two of these other games. They didn't blow it, but um, I just like the Seahawks. They've been playing very consistently as a unit. That offense has been scoring. They did enough to win last week, and I expect them to do enough to win this week. So,
Yeah, believe it or not, I I was thinking about going Seattle, and I didn't know if you guys were going to as well. So
That's
now that I
crazy.
know that, I will also go with the Seahawks.
Wow,
uh,
that's crazy.
wow.
The Seattle Stadium is a tough place to play, and the Buccaneers losing to Philly last week makes me worried, especially with how much on a roll the Seahawks team is. The Seahawks have been playing some really good football lately, and I feel like it does not get talked about enough. I mean, you have your juggernauts in the NFC. You have the Eagles, you have the Lions, you could even say the Buccaneers. But I think the Seahawks are right in that discussion. They've been playing really well lately. Sam Darnold, a lot of people thought was maybe going to take a step back and not play in his Minnesota Vikings form with his new team, but he absolutely has. And I think I saw a stat last week against the Cardinals was the first time they've allowed 20 points all year, I believe.
Hmm.
So yeah, that defense has been playing really well. Darnold's been playing really well. Mike McDonald is a great coach. I saw a TikTok video from a Ravens fan saying they um they should have moved on from Harbaugh when they had the chance and made McDonald the coach, and they didn't do it. So yeah, I'm gonna go Seattle here and triple down. Maybe we'll be wrong. We'll see, but I have a feeling we're all gonna be right. So.
Yeah, cool.
All right. This is where my lock of the week is. It's the Lions at the Bengals. Cincinnati is just abysmal right now. Luke said they were dead last week. This week, I don't even know what the next step down from dead would be because, my gosh. I put this on our WG social media Instagram story. Who should be the next QB of the Bengals? Because Jake Browning is not it. Dante, I think you slid up and you're like, what do you mean, bro? Jake Browning's great.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you should start over Burrow, even if it's healthy.
Jake Browning, I had high hopes for him when Burrow got hurt because, like, he's not that bad. He wasn't that bad last time he had to play a lot, but the dude has been awful.
I think
And
the
I think
Vikings
they
made the
got
right
to they got to
decision.
trade for. Say it again.
I think the Vikings made the right decision. Should have never effing cut me. Relax, bro. Calm down.
Um, yeah, I think the Bengals need to make a change at QB, and they need to do it ASAP if Zach Taylor wants a chance of keeping his job after the year. No matter who you go with, Jameis. I mean, I love Jameis Winston. That would be so much fun. Russell Wilson could even make a tiny bit of sense if you're willing to pay Kirk Cousins' contract, at least part of it. Just someone other than Jake Browning. And until then, I don't think I can pick the Bengals confidently. They, I guess, other than the Titans and the Browns, are the worst team in the NFC. Well, I guess other than the Jets too, but there are a lot of teams that are bad in the AFC. I might have said NFC. I'm losing my mind
Yeah, I
tonight.
think you said AFC.
Okay, I've talked too much about this in a prediction that doesn't need that much emphasis. I'll take Detroit by a lot. Lock of the week. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, this is also my lock of the week. Not going to talk about it too much. Give me Detroit.
Well, just for the sake of being different, I can make Arizona my lock of the week, but
Okay.
this is this is as safe of a lock as any of them. So give me Detroit.
Cool.
All right. Commanders and Chargers, final 4 o'clock game of the week. Washington lost to the Falcons last week. Like we said, the Chargers lost to the Giants. Both teams coming off a loss, both teams looking to get back in the win column. Who do we think wins? So we'll go first because I gotta blow my nose again.
Luke, go for it.
Um, hmm. Pure vibes pick. I am going LA. I I think they really want a get right game to continue to be among the elite of the league at 4-1. I think that means a lot to them. Um, the Commanders losing to the Falcons. 34 points to an Atlanta team that had been averaging 14 points through the first 3 weeks. Like Adam said, Kyle Pitts made an appearance on the fantasy leaders. So there's certain things to think about for this Commanders team. I was never super high on them coming into this year, and we're gonna have to see. If they lose this game, they're gonna not have to have some conversations, but they're gonna need to make sure that that mindset and that culture and that building is focused on the rest of the year. I think that I like the Chargers in this game to continue to push themselves into the conversation of being among the AFC's top contenders.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers as well. Justin Herbert is good. I apologize. Chargers.
You said you're going with the Chargers, Dante?
Yes, sir.
So, all right, I will go with the Chargers as well. I'm not that high on the Commanders right now. I think Jaden Daniels might be coming back for this game. I saw he was cleared to practice. But like you said, I like the way Herbert's playing right now. Quentin Johnson has been quietly breaking out. He's had a really good year. I picked him up in multiple fantasy leagues this week that still had him out there in free agency. And I'm talking like 4-person leagues that someone didn't pick him up yet. So yeah, I'll go with the Chargers as well.
Cool.
Speaking of Los Angeles teams, Adam, the Reds jump out to a 2-0 lead.
Really
Yep.
good, good. Keep it going, Reds. All right, Luke, I'll let you have the floor here.
Yeah, this one's interesting. I feel good about this game. That doesn't mean we're going to win, but for the first time in years, I look at Patriots Bills on Sunday night and I say bring it on because we've been close to beating them in recent years with not the team that we have now, not the way this team has been playing. Stephon Diggs in the slot last week looked like he was 5 years younger again. Drake May looked like a mini Josh Allen. Um, Somehow we pulled off three consistent running backs. That's not sustainable, but as long as we can continue to do it, I have no problem with it. And the defense did what the defense should do. Now, will that all translate against? We just played one of the no disrespect worst teams in the NFL. Now we're playing one of the best. Will that translate? I'm not sure, but against a team who just got punched in the nose a couple times by the Saints on their home turf, this is my upset of the week. I have the Patriots marching into Buffalo and escaping with a victory. Give me the Patriots, baby.
All right.
Drake May's coming out party on Sunday Night Football. Pause. You know what I meant. Like he's he's
That
going
is
to
great.
there's no saving that. There's no saving that. But you know what I meant.
That's funny.
He's going to step into the upper echelon of quarterbacks on Sunday Night Football.
I saw Wyatt's World say recently, Drake May MVP candidate question mark.
Yeah,
He's
well,
been balling.
let's beat Wyatt's team here first, please.
I have yet to watch his week 5 prediction video, but I'll let you know what he says, Luke. Um, Dante, do you want to go next or do you want me to go next?
I could go. Sorry, Luke. I'm gonna take Buffalo here.
It's okay.
Um, I love. Listen, man. I picked the Steelers in a game. I, I felt like we were the underdog in, and they won. So
And they won. What do you know?
that's a win here.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, true. If this game was in New England, I'd really, really consider it. But Highmark Stadium is just a really tough place to play. Though the
Mhm.
Patriots, out of all the teams in the NFL that go to Highmark, they give the Bills a fight usually. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game, especially the Bills coming off an oddly close game against the Saints, like I talked about earlier. Um, I think their defense could surrender quite a few points to New England, but Buffalo just seems to always pull it off in Highmark, and in Orchard Park. So I'm going to go with the Bills.
Sorry, Luke. I am going to go with the Bills as well. I do think the Patriots will make this a really interesting game, though. Like you said, Drake May has been playing really well, and I expect him to continue that. I could see it coming down to with Josh Allen clutch drive in the end, but I do think the Patriots will make this a game. I don't think Buffalo's going to run away with this, even though Highmark Stadium is a tough place to play, especially at night and the weather getting colder. But yeah, I'm going to take the Bills, but I expect New England to make this a fight.
All right, fair enough.
Final game of the week, Monday Night Football. We have the Chiefs and the Jaguars, both teams coming off victories. Guys, what do we think?
I'm gonna go Kansas City,
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be close. Jacksonville looks the best they've looked in years. It's only 4 games, but they look good. Travis Etienne, I always mix up him and his brother. Who's is he in the league or is he in college?
He
Anyway,
is in the league. In fact, I can tell you where he plays because he's on my Carolina Panthers.
that's right. Okay,
Trevor
sorry.
Etienne. Yeah, no, you're good, man.
Um,
He doesn't play that much, but he's on the team.
I knew that. But Travis Etienne looks good. What's his brother's name? Trevor.
Trevor, yes.
That's right. Yeah, they look good. Brian Thomas Jr. needs to pick it up though, because he has been a disappointment this year so far. But the
Yeah.
Jags defense looks really good. Josh Hines Allen looks nice. Um, Very surprised. Big win against the 49ers, though, like Luke said, I don't know if it's last week or the week before, but if you're losing to Mac Jones in the Big 2025, it's not a good sign for you. That being said, I like Kansas City. I'll take them.
Luke?
Yeah, it's a little bit reminiscent of me. For last year, the Steelers on Christmas kind of unlocked the Chiefs. They woke them up. That
Pretty
was what the
true.
Ravens. What'd
Yeah,
you say?
so that's pretty true.
Well, I was gonna say that's what the Ravens did last week. The Ravens got stomped, and we
Yeah,
were all wrong about that one. And so they're going to, and the Chiefs have been doing this without uh Rasheed Rice. So, um, give me the Ravens,
back.
not comfortably. What'd you say?
She Rice may be back this week. I heard.
Maybe.
Not this. He's suspended 6 games, I think. So,
Sorry.
um, and Luke, you
Uh,
might give me the Chiefs. You said the Ravens.
yeah, okay. You know what I meant. Not comfortably. I like Liam Cohen a lot. Um, Jags have been looking better and better. Like you said, you want to see more out of Brian Thomas Jr. It's a bit odd, but you have to love how ETN is playing. After last year, you could have wrote him off as maybe about to lose his job if they drafted someone. You have to love the way he's playing. You have to love the way that defense played last week. You have to love the culture shift in that building. So this is going to be a close one. An upset could happen here, but um, just as valid as the Chiefs being the Chiefs, and the fact that they looked fantastic last week. And so you don't want to face a Chiefs team that is looking fantastic.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy really took off.
Yeah.
He looked good.
And Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton. Like, come on.
Tyquan Thornton had a game.
What are we doing?
He was good.
Genuinely, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed something this episode?
We've agreed a
Anything
lot.
specific? What'd you say?
We've agreed a lot.
We have. Have you noticed some words I haven't said yet, though?
Upset.
Duval. I got the
Oh,
Jaguars as my upset of the week this week.
wow. I love that. I hope
Okay, go for
Yeah,
it.
I don't know why, but just a gut feeling. I could see this as, like Luke said, with the Drake May coming out game. I could see this as a Travis Hunter coming out game, whether that's on the offensive or defensive end.
sorry. Hold
This game disappeared. No, you're good.
on.
Maybe both. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has to step it up too, and I think he could have a solid game this week. Like you said, Dante, the Jaguars defense has been looking good. I expect them to limit Mahomes a little bit. I think this could be a thriller. This could be a close game that could come down to a field goal. And yeah, I like Jacksonville. I also really like the way Liam Cohen's been coaching. Liam Cohen has been a great coach. Early coach of the year candidate, especially if Jacksonville wins their division.
I don't know. I think
I'm gonna have to wait a couple weeks on that.
I think the league will just give it to Kevin Stefanski for no reason, like they always do. Um, we'll wait to see though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um, but yeah, that's our picks for the week. You saw some disagreements, but a lot of agreements. I'm
Couple
now
coming
gonna
out
go.
parties.
I'm gonna go now watch
A
Reds
lot
and
on our plate.
Dodgers. What'd you say?
Luke said a lot of coming out parties. I said, yeah, we have a lot on our plate.
Yeah.
If you know, you
Prayers up to
know.
Tyreek Hill, but at the same time,
Hey, the Raiders are
that
still
one I'm
winning,
not going to
guys.
I was
apologize
about to
for.
say that. Sauce Gardner, my favorite wide receiver. Anyway,
All right, fellas.
All right, guys. I'm gonna
This is
go
getting
watch
out
the
of hand
Reds and
now.
Dodgers. Hopefully, it's a successful LA hate watch. But I'm expecting the Dodgers to win, so we'll see. All right, we are your hosts, Adam.
Dante.
And Luke.
Enjoy this, and we'll catch you next week. Peace out.